way because I have a good plan and my parents and coaches like kind of structure me out where either way I'm gonna feel good regardless. But I don't know. I don't like to cut weight though because I like to like eat out and eat junk food a lot and eat a lot. So like for
Oh,
right now, I've
you
been
like
wrestling.
healthy food and you eat great, right? No junk food.
No, never. No, I do a lot, but I eat a lot of good food, but I like to eat like a lot of it, like steak or like a lot of chicken. Like we eat healthy, but I just like to eat like a
Big
lot, not
portion.
like yeah. So I've been trying to get big as possible. I think I'm gonna go up to 65 this season,
Yeah, that's
and
what I was reading.
I wrestled 75 for our last duel, and I weighed in at like 69, 68. So it was like not too big of a deal.
Okay. So you feel that'd be comfortable for you then?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you talked about the support from your parents and the support from your coaches. Like what got you started in wrestling? Like what interested you and what kind of brought you into it?
I was born my dad's senior year of college, and so I was kind of just always around the wrestling room. And then when he moved back to Oklahoma, he went right into coaching. Even though I couldn't wrestle, he just wanted to help and easy way to make extra money and stuff. So I was always just there and around it. And then met my buddy Landon. He's on my high school team right now. We are both from about 30 minutes away in Ponca City, Oklahoma, at like 4 years old, and we both just fell in love with it and always were wrestling together. And then in about kindergarten, end of my kindergarten year, me and my family moved to Stillwater, and then Landon just came with us. So we've had a
Wow.
great bond and things. So it was just I've always been around wrestling.
So it's literally been your way of life.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. So, I mean, supportive parents are definitely key. Um, what does it take to be a supportive parent? Like what kind of characteristics is a supportive parent going to have?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's like difficult because my parents are always on me, or my dad is talking about like you ate McDonald's today, like something like that. Even though I'm not cutting weight, he always wants me to eat like good food, no matter how much I eat of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're always there for you, no matter my ups, my downs, wins or losses. And also, they're like pretty hard on you. They're not just going to let you go out till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and hanging out with friends or anything like that. You're always strict. Well, not super strict. They always let me have fun, but like
Yeah.
10 bedtime, not bedtime, but inside the house, laying down, they're just a little bit more on top of things and watching over you.
Yeah. They hold you accountable to make sure that you
Yeah.
achieve your full potential because they
Yep.
believe in you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And it's awesome that you're surrounded with parents like that. That's awesome.
Yes.
Um, when you go to like tour colleges, when you did your college tours and you're on campus, what kind of things catch your eye? Like what sells you on a commitment, do you feel like? Because you've narrowed it down. You were at 7, you're at 5. So you've went through the process and you've started to narrow that down. What are deciding factors when you're trying to figure that out?
One of there's like three big things I really want to see. So schooling wise, I want to know like I want to have nice schools, like the opportunity for tutors, school things, uh, things that are just available for resources if I needed them. I've always had good grades, but just in case, never know with the college life, me being on my own without my parents having me accountable
Yeah.
and things like that. Maybe I need extra help. So that was one big thing that we looked out for. I look for nice facilities and like rehab and where has the best training environment for me, coming from the wrestling room to the uh, training room, the what would it be called, recovery rooms,
Right. Yeah.
and how they're breaking things down. Like the training lab is there at Penn State, and I know it's moving out towards Iowa now and Cornell and things like that. Then another big thing was my partners and who I'll be able to wrestle with, and like guys who can make me better and I feel comfortable around, and also want to succeed.
Yeah. And I think distance from home, I think that plays a lot. Some kids are comfortable putting distance between themselves and their parents to try to get some of that independence and go out on their own. And others kind of like, a shorter commute so that parents can stop in on weekends or it's easier to visit during holidays. Does distance have any part in that for you?
No, not at all. I'm still 50-50 about it, really, but there's nothing to stop me from trying to reach my biggest potential if I think somewhere else is better for me.
Okay. How do you feel about the difference between committing with a D1 school versus a D2? Like, do you feel like a D1 is a status symbol? Do you feel like if you were D2, you wouldn't have as many opportunities as if you committed to a D1? Like, how do you feel about those?
I feel like either way, I want to be able to reach my full potential. And if D2 is best for me, I think that I would do that, like, or NAI, anything. If I wasn't on a level where I think I could go in and start at any D1 room or become a national champion in a D1 room, I would go D2 or NAI and work my way up to when I think I can compete up there at those levels.
Yeah. I mean, no matter where you go, you're going to be successful. You're a hardworking kid. I mean, you speak for yourself when you're on the mat. So I think that regardless of wherever you go, we're gonna be watching. We're gonna be following along. We're gonna see you in the Olympics for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. It's exciting. Um, so you think the highlight of your career, you would probably say repping USA, right?
Yeah, that was one of like probably the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that's probably been the highlight of my goal right now. I remember when I was younger and like we would always go to all the Tulsa and kickoff and Reno's, and one of my younger brothers won the Trinity one year, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been like the biggest like trophy in the house or like the best trophy technically because we've won like Tulsa and stuff, but we never won all three. Me, my other brother, so he was the only one that had that, and he would always hold that above us. Like, yeah, but y'all didn't win Trinity yet. So then I remember the first thing when I came home, I was like, yeah, I got the best award now. So
Yeah, but you
yeah, it's
didn't get this, did you? That's
yeah,
you can say that now.
yep.
It's awesome. Leading up to an event like that, what is what does your regimen look like? Like, how do you get yourself into that mentality? Do you do anything specific leading up to a competition like that, or do you just kind of go with the flow and live out your normal life and eat your McDonald's and do whatever?
One big thing that I think was first is I wrote down like that I was going to be a world champ and I wanted to be a world champ. And I feel like that put it in my eyes more than like my dad telling me like, hey, come on, we're going to go win worlds or let's go. I woke up every morning and seen it. And I feel like my practices felt more like relaxed and fun because I knew what I was going for. That was one big thing. But, I really did like the same regiment as I would for any tournament besides, there was no school or nothing. So I think I was doing like one or two practices a day, off on Sunday, conditioning 2 times a week, and really just I ate healthy, to be honest. Not like super healthy, but I would have like steak and like better nutritional meals. But I didn't have to watch it because I was always like a kilo or two under. So it was really cool.
What is like your preferred method for recovery? Are you an ice bath fan? Like, what do you do as far as recovery goes? Because I think recovery is just as
So
important as preparing.
for sure. I used to sauna a lot, but then like you also can't do that once you get closer because you're letting out a lot of water. And even though I wasn't cutting weight, it makes it a lot easier. I could drink water in the sauna, drink water before and after. So I like sauna a lot, but I wasn't really a big ice bath guy ever. Like I could not get in the cold tub to save my life. And then right like leading up to Worlds, Dame Fix finally got me to do it, and he taught me how to breathe and everything. So I did do that a couple of times before Worlds, but a lot of the times I got like a couple massages during my training phase. I know I did the float. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like an egg shape type thing with a lot of like Epsom salt water and stuff, and you like float on top of the
Oh
water, and
yeah.
it's good for
Yes.
recovery.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that 2 times. And I always do like probably once or twice a week. I don't know if you know like the little leg compressions.
Yeah.
They had those at Oklahoma State when I was there during the RTC, so I'd do those like once or twice a week. So yeah, my dad and coach are really big on recovery and things like that.
That's awesome to hear. I remember in your interview for Super 32, you said during the match, your finals match, you were cramping because you
Yeah,
you had needed more water intake. So you could recognize what your body needed. So going into recovery, I think it's great that you prioritize your recovery. It's huge.
Yeah,
Keep
for
you healthy.
sure. I didn't have well before 232. I didn't really have like a training phase like I usually do before my tournaments or like big tournaments or like kind of what I'm in right now going up into Ironman. But because of so many visits and stuff, I had like 4 visits back to back to back. So I would like do what I'm supposed to do half the week and then go on a visit and just eat whatever they gave me. And like I wasn't really paying attention to all the nutritional and I wasn't really doing recovery. So I would say that was one of the like least prepared tournaments that I've went into, which was like it was cool because it was like, okay, I could still win, but at the
Did
same
great.
time I think I could performed more better.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always room for improvement. You can always do better, but you did good with what you had. You did wonderful with what you had. How do you balance with all like the traveling and academics and putting yourself first for training and recovery and family time? Like, how do you balance all of that?
So I have 2 online classes right now, which is this semester it is English and history that I'm taking on my computer online, and then I go in at 12:55 for my in-person class, which is Spanish. And so what I've been able to do a little bit was I'll do some work and then I'll try to get a little bit ahead on my online classes, and then also try to get a little bit ahead in my in-person class, even though I couldn't because I was missing like, especially Fridays. That's like more of like your test days and things like that. So
Mhm.
I would have to like so in the airport or like to Iowa State we drove, I would do work and like Little Rock we drove, I would do work on the way there. And I'll come back and then like those Mondays, since I'm not going to school in the morning, most teachers have a planning period, like my Spanish teacher does in the morning. I go in there and take tests, things like that. So I've been able to manage it like pretty well with school. And then like we get excused absences for like visits and things like that.
Oh,
So it
okay.
hasn't really affected my attendance much. Uh, but yeah, it's been a little bit more difficult for sure than the past years. Though I'm usually like spot on, all my work done right on time. So then when I'm trying to come back from behind, it's kind of like, man, I've never been here before, so it's been a little bit more difficult.
I give you all the props because listen, I say this all the time. I know grown adults who could not manage their life that well.
Yeah, it's so
And,
hard.
so I give you props for it. It's a lot of
Thank
work. Um, a lot of conversation that we have here at home between myself and Andrew is like growing the sport of wrestling, college wrestling. So the Cyhawk duels. Um, like after the event was over, it just kind of like cut and then on to the next sport. And if you look at NBA or NFL, after an event is over, there's always like post game follow up conversations that are live
Yeah,
that people can watch. And I kind of feel like the sport of wrestling needs that. So I wanted to get your take on that. I think it would help grow the sport. Um, but what do you think, like in your opinion, as the athlete who's being watched and wants the world to see him? How do you feel like media could do a better job at promoting the sport and getting people to watch?
yeah, for sure. I think that was a great idea. Didn't watch it on TV since I was obviously there, but I did not know that. But yeah, I think that would be a cool experience having like John Smith, maybe like the bigger name, Dan Gables, or Jordan Burroughs, who's big in the
Yeah.
sport, David Taylor, someone like that,
Mhm.
like doing a post game or post duel, we should say,
Yeah.
post duel interview, talking about it and how cool the experience was and how they thought the matches should have went. Because there's a lot of close calls. So a lot of people I know, even like some of my friends, they're like, "Oh, we saw wrestlers on ESPN." They're like, "So how is this working?" Like he lost, but everyone on Instagram or Twitter is saying he should have won, and they're like, "We don't know what happened." So them explaining that a little bit and things like that would have been cool for sure.
Yeah, I really think there should be more segments like that. Me personally, I'm still pretty new to the sport. I've only been around it for about 2 years, seriously 2 years. I got interested in it because my son joined the local youth team. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was just kind of like roped into it. I'm a sports mom, so I'm going to back him wherever he goes with whatever sport. And then I just fell in love with it. Like, I think it's awesome. I love what it teaches kids, boys and girls, self accountability, how to work for something that you want. how to manifest what you want. You said yourself that you just wrote it down, that that's what your goal was, and you were going to go out and achieve it. And I think that I don't think there's other sports really that teach that.
No.
So I think the more media we have covering the sport and the more awareness we have, I think it's a huge thing. I think more people need to know. What would you say to a parent who's kind of like cautious about signing their kid up for wrestling, for like a club or like
Yeah.
wrestling for the school?
Yeah, that's kind of a difficult question, but I always like to tell the story of like when I was a kid or like some of my friends were a kid. We just didn't know what to do, and then like once we started playing football, yeah, we might be like the best athlete or the best player in the league or on the team, but then we're 0-7, and then you're all mad after every game or something like that. So yeah, I think it shows a lot of accountability and it teaches them to be tough. I know like there's a lot of kids when they first get in it, even at our or my dad has a kids club here called Cowboy Wrestling Club. He's the president of it, and I help there a lot and do a lot of privates. That will come in, and at first it's like very soft, and then after now you see them run around, they make new friends, they're talking to everybody, they're not shy or crying after every takedown. So I think not only does it bring you friends and you get more like out there. I don't know how you'd say like outgoing and not as shy and things
Yeah,
like that.
well, that makes sense. I agree with you 100%. 100%. I saw a couple of our youth girls when they first started the program and they're drilling with boys and they're very hesitant. They're like, I don't know. And even the boys are like, I don't want to wrestle a girl. Like this is kind of and certainly don't want to get taken down by a girl.
Yeah.
And so once they're in the room together and then they're comfortable drilling together and they learn how to work with each other, it's great towards the end of the season how you see like a whole different transition with the kids. It's great. Now
Yeah.
I gotta go
That's
follow
all.
it. Now I gotta follow your dad's club.
Yeah. It's an
For sure.
awesome club. There's a lot of good wrestlers that have came out of there so far. I know when the club first started, it was like Daniel Cormier was the head coach, coming right out of high college, and it was a pretty good club. It had like Joe Smith, um, Cade Brock, and then now there's me, Cale Hughes just came out of it, and another D1 guy. He goes to Morgan State now. Cameron Johnson. It's growing a lot though.
Yeah, I like it. That's great. Um, what would you say your favorite, maybe not favorite, but what wrestler do you idolize, do you think?
So, this is hard. Right now, my favorite wrestler has been David Carr. Like since he's been in college or lately, but just in all since I was little, it was John Smith and Jordan Burroughs at first. So yeah, those three have been like, and Dayton Fix because he was from Oklahoma, and when I was coming up, he was in high school winning all the Who's Number Ones and the Flow Nationals and Fargo making world runs and stuff like that. So it's been Dayton Fix, David Carr, John Smith, Jordan Burroughs.
David Carr, he has a charisma about him too. I don't know what it is. People gravitate towards him. I watched him wrestle Cleveland State and he just has this charisma about him. People are drawn to him. He's great on camera. He's great off the mat and yeah,
Yeah,
great.
I really liked hanging out with him when I was down there. It was a really cool experience. And he's like really true. I don't know. I know there's like a lot of people like you see him on camera or like in interviews like talking about how much they like God or they believe in God and they're like so holy, but he's like really that guy and it was like really surprised me. I loved it. It was like
So he's true
really
to his
great experience.
he's true to his character.
Yeah.
And
Yes, it's
that's
crazy.
great. That's great.
Yeah. And
What
I think his
about
dad has a big part in that too. Nate Carr,
yeah.
he's a really great guy.
How about female wrestling? Is there any female wrestlers that you're like, wow, she's fantastic? Anyone that you
Oh
love
yeah.
female side?
I remember when I was younger, I went to the OTC the first time, and Adeline Gray was there. And then as I was getting a little bit bigger, I was probably like getting up to like 100 pounds. And Helen Marulis started coming to OSU to work out and stuff, and I tried to wrestle her, and then she would just kill me. So it was cool, but I would say the most girl that I've liked to watch and follow a lot is Forrest. I don't know. There's just something about her. I like her a lot, and I've wrestled with her last year a lot, like 3 or 4 times. And then she came out here, especially for Final X, and then another time, and we trained a lot together.
Hmm.
So that's probably like the biggest girl I watch a lot was her and Jakar because she's out of the same RTC as me.
That's
So
very
yeah,
cool. Well, one last thing before we go. I'm going to end it super informal. What did you ask Santa for Christmas?
new shoes, 2 new pair of shoes. I've been getting
What?
into shoes a lot lately, so
Yeah,
2 new pair of
I'm a
shoes,
wrestling shoes or sneakers?
sneakers,
What kind of sneakers?
sneakers.
I gotta know.
Uh, I got some Pure Money. I just ordered them some Pure Money for Jordan 4s. They're like all white. I already got the black cats like a couple months ago, so I had to get all white. And then I got uh 1 pair of 90s, just Air Max 90s, and then a pair of Space Jam 11s.
11s. Yeah.
Yep.
How many sneakers do you have? Honestly.
Probably like I just got into not too long ago, so I don't have a lot of like cool sneakers yet. I only have like probably 4 pair of really cool sneakers. I have like a pair of yellow and black like mid ones that are pretty expensive, and then I got the UNC Dunks, and then the Black Cats now, and then the lottery pack Dunks, and then I'll get the Space Jams, and then the Pure Money. So I have like 6 pretty cool like expensive shoes, and then all my other ones are just like shoes I've got over time and decent, and then running shoes and stuff. So I would say like 15, 20 pair, but like not all of them are like expensive or like really cool.
They don't have to be expensive as long as you like them. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a huge, I encourage the sneaker collection. I love it.
Yeah, I like
I'm on StockX all the time with a wish list.
it. Me too.
So,
Same.
well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I'm still super new at doing interviews. I'm trying to do them and get comfortable with them. So I truly appreciate you taking the time. I know it's getting kind of late. You're probably exhausted. So
No, all good for sure. I appreciated it.
yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you at Ironman, right? Ironman's
Yep.
next. Yep. All right. We'll see you there.
All right. See you there. Thank you.
Bye.